operatives. 2 Imp operatives. That's ridiculous. He wants to destroy the mechs.
He can see the lines.
He sees the lines. So if Neirea goes for a mech rogue package, he is going to get shut down. He's going to get blocked so hard. Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to that a lot, Derek. I want to see that happen.
I cannot wait. But first of all, this is, in the specialist format, you have to queue your primary deck first. So for both of these players, the deck they thought would do well against the majority of the field. No especially powerful techs for either player so far.
Yep. We're going to start things off pretty standard. And decent opening hand here for both players. Neirea has the coin miscreant. It was looking a little shaky just based off of having only Life Drinker and Henchland Burglar. But Purple has the 1-drops. And the 1-drops add so much to the Warriors' arsenal because not only does it give it early game board presence, it helps flesh out the curve so effectively. And Purple immediately with the opportunity to armor up or play the Eternium Rover. Eternium Rover, of course, not just your average 1-mana minion, but it's also a mech, and it just gives a lot of implication. Like, if you see this Eternium Rover, you're like, what if he has Snip Snap?
Oh, that's true.
And then it's like, well, I just don't have tempo for the rest of the game, and I win. Guess what? Snip Snap's great.
That's true.
But of course, we knew Snip Snap was good in Warrior.
1 point to Snip Snap.
Well, we knew Snip Snap was good in Warrior. I mean,
yeah.
Any person that doubts that is just a fool named Derek Brown.
And you specifically said in the break room, you might actually let up on me a little bit on the bullying and let TJ and Admirable take up the reins on that.
I asked you if you wanted me to, and you said no.
This is my own fault, is what you're saying.
You did it to yourself, Derek. You have.
Stop bullying yourself. Stop bullying yourself.
I gave you an out.
Fair enough.
All right, so with that Acolyte of Pain, looks like Neirea can't really stop it from the card draw. We'll start things off with this Witchy Lackey. Oh, wait. Did we say we can't stop the card draw?
Yeah, a very nice start here for Neirea, because very often in these matchups, while it can go into the late game with a lot of value generation, it feels like whoever is having to play catch-up on the in the terms of tempo to swing themselves back onto the board is at a big disadvantage in this matchup. So the Hecklebot for Neirea definitely helps.
So Purple does have that Militia Command. He also has a Warpath, which is pretty interesting to think about. I think Warpath is one of the most effective cards, surprisingly, against Rogue these days, because they seem to have a lot of minions stat around 3 or 4 health.
Yeah.
So you're able to pick it apart with Warpath. I think most importantly, it's an opportunity to shut down Shark plays. So as much as it's great to draw 2 cards and get value off this Acolyte, I think Purple has the right idea. He doesn't want to fall too far behind on tempo.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Oh, man. Myra's Unstable Element. This is looking very nasty early on here for Neirea.
And his hand is really one that I think complements relatively well Myra's Unstable Element. If he can find some Shadow Steps off of that to go with the Leroy in hand and the Life Drinker, he's looking at closing this game out way before we see any kind of nonsense with Blastmaster Boom.
That's a good point. Nerea's also pretty much just been playing cards from the right side. Like he's been holding his early mulligan cards for so long outside of a couple of cheap things. But Waggle Pick coming to the hand for Neirea. If you know your opponent has weapon removal like Harrison Jones, how does that make your board look? I'd say that it's okay across the board, except for the Hecklebot. If the Hecklebot gets bounced back and your opponent pulls out a free 7/7.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst case scenario. Even if it gets bounced back, it's still healed for 6 effectively when you replay it. So I think it's really not too bad no matter what the outcome is here.
If you're Purple, do you play a Mega Assembly just for discovering the mech? Oh, he passes the Hecklebot.
Well.
The Beryllium Nullifier, the Boom Reaver, and the Eternium Rover. Looks like he's choosing the cheapest options. It does go well with Warpath, and if he does find a magnetic option, it does combo really easily.
That makes sense. He does need to be a little bit afraid of just running out of stuff to do for the moment, because this can definitely turn into a mid-game value-generating matchup if you're able to neutralize a few of the rogue threats.
It's true. Neirea, in the meantime, A couple of secrets and deadly shot. Looks like he's just going to leverage the single target removal. This is what Rogue does best.
Yeah.
Able to push damage and remove one target that you're trying to play onto the board. Doesn't matter if you sap a Harrison Jones. He can draw all the cards in the world, or he can draw all the cards he wants in the world, but if he dies, he dies.
Can't take it with you.
Wow, that's actually very deep.
You didn't think you'd be getting that from old Derek Brown, did you, Daniel?
Derek, you're... I did not. First of all, what's with the full naming? I don't think I've been
You don't
called...
refer to me by my full name, Doroculus.
Turns out you're half Greek. I had no idea. I haven't been full named in like years by anybody, so thank you for that. But yeah, that was very deep. Have you been doing a lot of musings, Derek, about whether or not you can take all your caster earnings with you to the next life?
Yeah, all those millions and millions of dollars I'm making.
Yes, and meme points on the internet. You can't take your caster earnings or your memes with you, Derek.
No.
Having an existential crisis as a result. Neirea has 8 power showing on the board. He has 2 life drinkers, so that's and a Leroy Jenkins. So that's, well, that's close. It's 20 damage.
I think basically what I want to see here from Neirea is, well, what we're starting to see already, which is just playing aggressively onto the board and getting a lot of damage to face. His hand is rife with value. He's not running out of stuff to do anytime soon, so I think I just want to see him making sure he doesn't play too greedily and fall behind on tempo, and Neirea should be absolutely fine here.
Deadly shot to deal with the 7/7. Purple was hoping that just a single body of Dr. Boom would be enough to help fight back. This incidentally, with this Dynamatic, does not
quite
clear.
clear the board. Yeah. And even just leaving a 3-1 in play, like that damage, it really racks up very quickly, as we're seeing. But I suppose Silence and Militia Commander gets you a reasonable board state whilst also clearing up most of the damage.
Yeah. I think I like that the best, just taking the most power off the board.
Your magic
and just fighting back. Yes, if they have an Edwin Van Cleef,
yeah,
you're probably in trouble, but I think you're in trouble right here, right now.
I fully agree. I think saving that Warpath is much more likely to be necessary than saving the Silence for a big Edwin. And with this play, instead of going for the Warpath, Purple goes from having nothing in board to quite a substantial board state, which Neirea kind of has to answer, unless he just wants to start launching everything face.
He could. He can Shark and Life Drinker, and then he has that's 6 damage plus the 10 that he has for 4, so for 10 total. And then he has 10 damage guaranteed with the Leroy and the Life Drinker next turn. It's interesting. Like he basically has well, he swung with the daggers, so he doesn't have that 10th point. But if the Shark survives, he has the double Life Drinker opportunity.
Purple now with 3 swings of Warpath that it looks like he's lining up for, would be able to survive with a shield block for the moment.
Right. Warpath with the Eternium Rover is also a possibility.
That's true, yes.
So he can Warpath
Good point.
once, then play Eternium Rover and Warpath 2 more times. Okay. He wants to just get as much armor as possible.
He's calculating numbers and thinking Leroy Shadow Step into Leroy again next turn, because it's not even just a 1-turn lethal calculation, it's 2, even 3 turns.
Right.
He has to start considering that.
Yeah, I figured that he might leave the Eternium Rover just to fight back on board, but he says, you know what, that 1-1 doesn't really matter nearly as much as surviving.
Yeah.
And Neirea, this is where things like the unstable element can be really powerful, but he still has other plays besides that with the Blink Fox and the Life Drinker. Leroy Shadow Step is in hand.
Ooh.
Sure.
He has another copy of Wagglepick in his deck, for which that upgrade would be a very prime target.
We're looking for any kind of magnetic ability. Dr. Boom Magias comes in the hand.
Yeah, that's very, very nice for a... I mean, you could think about it this turn, but I think it's probably Ziliax instead to clean up a bit first, then solidify with Dr. Boom.
Maybe.
You thinking about just Dr. Boom now?
Well, Dr. Boom kind of gives every minion the Ziliax-like effect because you rush from the rest of the game. There's also the upside of just getting like a pretty good hero power to help.
I've been casting with Admirable for too long. I'm thinking about not playing Dr. Boom at the earliest possible opportunity.
I mean, it's funny enough, it's like people like Purple also advocate for that too.
Yeah.
And Admirable, Purple, and all of them talk a lot of Hearthstone.
They talk a lot of something else as well.
Not playing Dr. Boom. Neirea finds Snip Snap.
So he can play them as two separate minions.
Well,
Shadow Step one back.
Well, no, like later on.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a viable option.
It's a good play.
It's not a bad play. Yeah, and then stack one on the far on the other end. Oh, he's gonna dagger up and upgrade. Whoa, he's got the damage calculation.
He's going aggressive.
Yeah, I mean this is purely for his damage breakpoints, I think.
Right. And this is the downside of Purple's play, which is that he left 7 damage on the board, whereas he could have mitigated some of it with the Ziliax on the previous turn.
Yeah, but now he has a Mega Devastator.
Yeah. It's worked out pretty well for him, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. And the Shield Slam actually ends up being very nice as well to clean up everything. So Neirea is saving the Shadow Step for a potential lethal, but now sees almost full life being gained if he can't deal with it. Sap's already been used. Sap's a one of. Ooh. Can this Hench Clan Burglar find a way?
Got a deadly shot off the last one.
Yep. If he finds another single target removal option, there's a lot for 6 mana remaining. In fact, if I was Neirea, I might be even tempted to Shadow Step it if I didn't find something.
Yeah, that's not it.
Well, there's no armor. Forked Lightning can't even work right now. And then Dream Guardians.
So all of these do pretty much literally nothing.
Yeah, they're more activators for Vendetta.
Yeah.
If I'm Neirea, do you go for the Shadow Step? He chooses the Unstable Element. Draws a bomb. Hogwoggle. Oh, Vendetta. That's what he was going for. Still, though,
it still goes right up to full health, man.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, he's, with not even having any lackeys in hand to go with the Togwaggle, he's pretty much all in on a big Edwin to have any chance at all in this game. Or maybe Leroy plus double Shadow Step, but I don't know. Double Shield Block probably gets Purple there.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, too, about Purple's hold on the Ziliax. Maybe Neirea's like, well, he probably doesn't have it then. Like, to answer, like, a very easy 3-3
good point
board. And then it's like, he's like, well, I can just, like, get greedy, or not greedier, I can get more aggressive. Because he basically wasted a lot of resources by not playing, like, more efficiently. Instead, he played very aggression-oriented. And that allowed him to extend to a situation where Purple just had Ziliax down to 10 life, and now he's back up to full. And Neirea has to rely on that big Edwin, which Purple doesn't have an answer, but, I mean, you can just draw very easily into it, or even discover one through Delivery Drone.
Yeah, I think this was a really good demonstration of one of the strongest aspects of Purple's play, which is just that he's very unflappable, just very level-headed in his play. When he saw the 7 damage on board, he was not threatened enough to go for Ziliax and threw down the boom.
I love that you're wearing a pink flamingo shirt and you're using terms like unflappable.
Oh yeah, that was on purpose.
Yeah, that was great. Well, I mean, the fact that, as far as I know, those can't fly, right? Which makes it even fly. I've never seen one fly.
This guy's toes.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a flamingo.
Or is it ostriches?
Ostriches cannot fly.
Oh, that's what it is.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
That makes a lot more sense. Well, then the pun is not as funny.
In that case, I just remembered completely flightless birds. They've never set more than a foot off the ground in their lives.
You are so clever.
Whew, dodged one there.
Truly the master of memes. Purple can take down 2 of these minions with Warpaths, then use that replicating menace.
Yes, you can. And that is pretty much the final hurrah. Even with the Grommash Hellscream for Neirea, I don't even think that's going to be enough.
I mean, he's got a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Oh, the blast shield. Neirea is disappointed to see that.
17 health next turn. Oh no, he doesn't get another militia commander, does he, off the town crier?
Maybe this is enough. I don't know. There's not enough to deal with this right now. Purple's like, oh, the Snip Snap.
Whoa! Snip Snap's huge.
Snip Snap is so good in this spot. 4 damage for each. That's a full clear. Right?
Is it? It goes up to...
It's 4 damage per each iteration of Snip Snap because it leaves behind 2 Microbots.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
But he can't hero power. That is sort of a big deal.
Grom is the bigger deal at the moment, though. But even then, what is this now? 12, 18 damage. Maybe he can eke out a little bit more with the weapon and a hit to face if Neirea is very lucky.
Seems like a situation where Neirea sees Microbots, so he knows that if he plays Togwoggle on the board, he loses that anyways.
Yep.
Leroy, Shadow Step.
This is the game plan at the moment. He has the amount of damage that he needs to win next turn. With the weapon as well, it's 1 over lethal.
Right, so does he Ziliax here to just gain that life? Shut down the magnetic ability even?
That seems smart.
Kill off the Microbot? I can't believe there's still an out here. But, of course, Purple with the shield blocks.
This was closer than I thought it was going to be.
It was
much
a lot closer, and I got to say that a lot of things went Neirea's way. You know, getting the single target removal very cleanly, being able to get things like Grom off of Myros and Stable Element being discovered. These are some really powerful cards, and Warriors still prevailed because of a combination of Purple having the what's going to be the game. For game number 2 here. Both players are 1-0, by the way, in the standings. Again, if you want to follow along with us, we'll be mentioning it all weekend long, battlefy.com/HSesports. You can check out the standings, look at how your favorite players are progressing, even look at the decks along with us. So far, seems like pretty straightforward. Nothing that indicates if it's a tertiary or a secondary deck.
Well, we just got word, actually, from... Well, I did, at least, from production, that sticking with primary here is Purple, not switching over to the extra silences and EMP operatives of his secondary deck, which is a really interesting development. I wonder if he wasn't expecting Neirea to switch over to the tertiary deck, or more likely, I would say, he just still thinks it's better to stick with the primary deck. He would have lost... He would have lost Brawl, I suppose, if he'd switched over. And Dynamatic. Okay, yeah, maybe it's better just to stick on the primary.
Oh, that is a juicy minion. An Eternian Rover that leaves behind 2 1/1s. Very nasty. Purple's going to dominate this early game board. And he even has good plays to follow up from turn 4 onwards because of the Town Crier and the Militia Commander. Ziliax being drawn.
And we were talking about the importance of needing to stay ahead in tempo early on in this matchup, no matter which side you're on, which does mean that with Purple even leading up to a Dr. Boom Mad Genius as well, he's looking to be in such a good spot here to pull ahead.
A Zap and a Spirit Bomb. Both are pretty interesting options. The Zap doesn't affect Neirea too much outside of the Ziliax play next turn. The Spirit Bomb is just more effective. There's like 4 is just a lot more impactful against a lot of warrior minions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of tempted by the weapons project to destroy Wrench Caliber, but I think the difference between 3 and 2 is probably not big enough. And the extra bomb in your deck could be important, but I think it's less useful than a Spirit Bomb.
Right.
Wow.
Zap, but a hold on it. Looks like Neirea is going to utilize that for the following turn.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really doing all too much on this turn. Were you looking at zapping the 1-2?
Oh, no, I just wasn't exactly sure. Maybe he's zapping the Rover, but he has Ziliax in this position.
Oh, I guess he could have attacked us, right? Yeah, with the weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been all right.
Ziliax makes sense here, though.
Unity. Precision.
Does he want to zap the 1/1 to stop any magnetic from coming out? Because it's clear that Purple's playing a tempo-oriented plan right now. Okay, zaps the 1-2 instead. I thought that there was merit in zapping a mech in this spot here. But Purple looks like with the ability to magnetize through Ziliax, maybe not necessarily he even wants to do because he still has that Wretch Caliber in this spot.
Yeah, and he's still at full health as well. I think if Neirea were to see a Ziliax magnetize down here, he wouldn't be all too sad, all things considered.
And then the only other magnetize effect is Snip Snap. And you already used that. So it seems to be all good. Oh my goodness. This is the tempo play that Purple's looking for. Oh, Weapons Project doesn't look too bad here, huh?
Yeah, that's true, actually.
But he already, of course, used Zap to get that tempo. So what's interesting is Neirea is like, he's valuing the tempo in the matchup too. He hasn't played a single Shark. And he's playing both his Burglars.
Oh, wow, going with the Shark over the Hench Clan Burglar here.
I think it's because the Wrench Caliber is on the board.
Yeah, I guess so.
He just this is also an opportunity for him to potentially get further ahead.
It's
Plus,
just such a bad turn. It's so bad.
He has Hench Clan Burglar Rush. Or should I say Charge?
I'm wondering, was there any merit of going backstab and waggle pick on that turn and hitting face, and then you could bounce back the Hench Clan Burglar? But
I think this is fine. He has 2 Sharks. He improves the depth of this play.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Dr. Boom's scheme. It's always a funny card to me. Bane of Doom has a very interesting range of demons right now, but because a lot of them rotated out,
it's pretty poor overall. Even Doomguard.
Yeah, even Doomguard's gone. So your best ones are like Illidan and like Jiraxis. Maybe a Pit Lord.
Yeah,
Dread
that doesn't
Infernal.
feel especially appetizing.
It's alright. Explosive Trap is interesting. Zerek's Cloning Gallery. Whoa, I've never even thought about that possibility.
What could that even get in the Rogue deck?
It can get Snip Snap. It can get Cairn.
Oh, that's true. Cairn's pretty good.
But he picks up the Weapons Project right now, which makes sense. Accepts the fact that his opponent might have that Harrison, but Dr. Boone, mad genius.
Important, even to the degree of leaving up a Spirit of the Shark for a turn. Again, Purple showing the importance and the power level of Dr. Boone, mad genius, because no matter what is done here by Neirea, Purple can just clear up everything on the following turn.
This is certainly interesting. Neirea can play Mojo Master Ziki not once, but twice. Oh, double stealth.
You're never finding that guy.
Actually, that'd be a pretty interesting mechanic if stealth could be activated twice, so you have 2 rounds of being stealth instead of 1. It'd be interesting for a day.
Yeah, I think interesting is an interesting way of phrasing that.
Well played, Derek. I guess no harm, no foul. Nothing really for the Shark to capitalize on.
Yeah, and I think that was really just for Purple, testing out the secrets. Was it Snipe? Was it Snake Trap, I guess he was somewhat afraid of as well.
Right.
Now he's narrowed it down to Misdirection, Freezing Trap, Explosive. Yeah.
He attacked with D1-3, so Freezing Trap
oh, yeah, sorry, good point.
is also off the board. The Coppertail Imposter.
Or Rat Trap, could be as well, sorry.
I just want to see 1 War Gear. Just give me that War Gear.
Well, he's only got 1 in the deck, which is kind of surprising to me with a double Coppertail 1 War Gear package. I would have thought you'd go for 2 of each just for the obvious turn 4, turn 5 synergy that works out so nicely.
There's just not enough cards to switch. I think if he had a 6 card, he would have done it.
Yeah,
but he has
I guess
Cairn and Mojo Master plus the 2 Coppertails and War Gear. That's 5 cards.
Yeah. I think I could see another War Gear over a Cairn. Maybe.
Over the Cairn.
Maybe.
But then how are you going to get the Zerek's Cloning Gallery synergy? Dude, okay, no. Zerek's Cloning Gallery pulls out Sharks. Not that he doesn't have it, but pulls out Sharks and Cairn and things like Snip Snap. Then you can Shadow Step whatever comes out, like a Blink Fox, and then play it.
You're onto something here, man. Make it happen.
That sounds cool. Shadow Step to Snip Snap. Explosive Trap not being played. You know, it was actually interesting. I kind of wondered what was the implication of Explosive Trap from Neirea versus like a... Is just Bane of Doom too expensive? Is that what it is?
It's likely going to stick around in the hand for a long time. I'm not even sure that it's better, to be honest, because if he's losing on board so decisively to the point where Explosive Trap is actually good, he's probably losing the game pretty decisively anyway.
That's fair.
They were both pretty miserable picks, though. And that same situation for Neirea that we saw last game, where he has the Togwaggle, but he has no lackeys to go with it.
Just picking up all the warrior weapon stuff.
Just a sip.
Mojo Master Zihi, shutting purples, crystals, back down to 5.
A turn before Omega Devastator and Omega Assembly would have been activated.
Wow, look at that.
So pretty nice timing, I think.
Yeah, very nice. Still, though, uphill climb to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So much life to chew through. 61 life available to purple this turn. Another Mega Devastator. Security Rover, too expensive. Spark Drill, unplayable as well. The Mojo Master Z coming in pretty big here.
As it's supposed to. You know, this is very clearly an anti-warrior piece of tech that he's thrown in. I guess it could have a little bit of splash damage maybe against the mages.
Yeah, and then, you know, if you run into like the odd Holy Wrath Paladin type situation.
That's true. Yeah, good point. Good point. But still not doing enough.
Some people told me they were going to play, and they just totally did not. So I wonder if they were hoping that I would leak that as a mind game. Oh, Frodan's, you know, he has loose lips. He'll just tell people that I'm playing this deck, and then I'll break something else.
I know. I was...
No, none of the people who told me they're going to bring Holy Wrath Paladin brought Holy Wrath Paladin.
Me neither. I had the exact same experience. It's very disappointing. I was ready to make the bold prediction that we would have at least 3 Holy Wrath Paladins in top 8 yesterday. I'm glad I did not.
Neirea has a pretty decent option here, no matter what bounces back to the Waggle pick. If it's the Lackey, he gets more Lackeys. If he gets Shark, he gets a cheaper Shark. But I guess he wanted at least the Lackeys right here.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Being able to go... doesn't actually even quite have the mana to go Lackey, Shark, Togwaggle all on the same turn. And if he wants to wait for that, that starts getting so slow.
Yeah.
Like, he has to do something now because he's just losing board. And, you know, even if he goes for a Zarog's Crown and hits something big, he'll be too far behind. It won't make any difference.
Right. Actually, now that I think about it, it was just better to get the Evil Keyboard in almost every scenario because of that. Like, yes, Dynamatic and, you know, all the other cards that can shut it down. But 2-mana Shark with not a lot of ways to utilize it is...
Yeah.
So, maybe instead, Neirea goes for the Witchy Lackeys.
What, just now with the Togwaggle?
No, if you Shark and you Lackey, Witchy Lackey your Shark, you can give
it becomes a 6-drop.
Yeah, you can give it Rush, and then you can even utilize the Witchy Lackeys with the Vendettas to clear the board. Okay. So Neirea's just going to utilize the Wrench Caliber in this spot set up the Shark. But he's in for some bad news.
He is indeed.
There are some fuses ready to be lit.
Light the fuses!
Every single maneuver that Neirea is going for is being checked by purple here.
Yep, and there's bombs now shuffled in the deck too. And
yep.
Shadow Step. Oh, gosh. All right, so Witchy Lackey.
Has to go for Wand, right? But then it draws closer to bombs.
I like the Wand.
Just going for 2 Deathwings? And maybe hope that Brawl is the bottom card in Purple's deck. Like, that's the kind of situation he's in right now.
I like it.
It's fair enough.
Sorry, I like it enough. Not a super fan of it. They're trading the Wrench Caliber into 1/1s as well. How annoying are these little microbots?
And Purple can just make Neirea's life even more annoying. The Security Rover, if he wanted to on this turn, to generate a whole bunch of taunts.
Vicious Scrap Hound to add more life. Purple already has an entire hero's worth of life in his armor. And Neirea has an entire hero's life worth of bombs in his deck.
And if Neirea is going to have any chance, it has to come right now.
4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. It's just math.
Yeah.
Got to go with the highest amount of statistics on the board.
Bubble, bubble, eat it! I never like
This was a pretty powerful turn. All credit to Neirea.
Yeah, it was a big swing, and I think upgrading from 7 to 8 mana is just the best statistical outcome on average.
Yep.
Not when Captain Hooktoes comes out. Wait, what? The red, he draws his bombs before Neirea does? from the Wrench Caliber swings?
God, Purple's getting so unlucky this game.
What are the odds of that? Yeah, this one looks like it's a cleaner upper. There's not much Neirea can do, and he even had like the mech deck, but things just didn't line up the way he needed it to, despite having 2 sharks.
Yeah, Purple just showing time and again his proficiency with this Bomb Warrior deck. He builds it well, and he plays it pretty much perfectly. He knows exactly what he's going to do, which is situations like this. You just develop onto the board, hit them as hard as you can, and try and lock them out of the game.
Is there any possibility?
Zilliax.
Hakar. You kill your own Hakar and go for some kind of lethal. There's no way. Oh, hold on. Witchy Lackey?
Could he get Fell Soul Inquisitor on a 4-drop slot just for a bit of taunt and lifesteal?
Faceless Lackey can give him other forms. Nope. No dice across the board. Neirea gives up. Purple cruising to a 2-0 lead in Sword.